Hello, Internet, and welcome to Black Hollywood Live. We're recapping the Get Down, Episode 2, Seek Those Who Fan Your Flames, and Episode 3, Darkness is Your Candle. We're here for a wash and a trim. Come join us. Oh man, we were rocking out here. This is a groove that I'm glad they picked this groove because it's one you can't listen to over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because it never gets boring. Hey, I'm Joelle Monique. I'm your host, and I am so excited for the Get Down. These last episodes have been amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm so excited to talk about them. These are my hosts. Introduce yourself, guys.
Hey guys, my name is Sheldon White. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter at Sheldon White 2, and I'm super happy to be here and talk about these exciting episodes today.
And I'm Chaos J, Kaos J, and let's get to it.
I'm so excited to have you here, Chaos. Thank you for joining us. Guys, Seek Those Who Fan Your Flames is one of those quintessential episodes. I was reading IndieWire this week, and they said that this is the first show that feels like it's taking the movie idea. Like, this idea that these series are long movies, just 6-hour movies. Like, you hear that people say that about Game of Thrones and a bunch of other shows. Mm-hmm. But the Get Down is the first one to really embrace that idea. And as I started watching through that lens, I really felt strongly that they were accurate. In watching episode 1, could be a single movie. Mm-hmm. From start to end, if you just watch that, you'd be satisfied. You could walk away satisfied with the whole film. I feel like episodes 2 and episodes 3 each could be an individual movie.
Mm-hmm. I agree, definitely. It's one of those things where I feel like it kind of grabs you in, and there are a lot of shows now where they're good, and you watch them and you're like, okay, cool, that was good, but it's not like you're not itching for the next one.
Yeah.
And this one, I feel like that it has that effect.
Yeah, I mean, it's super hard to like turn the episode off and just to like call it a day. Like I always want to get on to the next episode, and I think that it's a really interesting take on how they're doing this now. You know,
want to watch all 6 hours of the
sure.
film. It is wonderful. I want to dive right into episode 2. And at the start, we have Grandmaster holding up this purple crayon. And he's setting the boys out on a mission. They've got to discover the use of this purple crayon. What was were you guys trying to guess with them? Because I certainly was. Is there like sitting stoned on the couch like, what is this crayon? I was like, damn, I don't know, guys.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely trying to guess. I mean, it was really crazy to me how I really loved how he didn't necessarily tell them. He was just like, this is the key, and just let them go for it. And I loved them having no idea what to do. And I loved their frustration. Like when the kids were like, I give up, I don't know what to do with this. I was like, I'm right there with you. I would be giving up too.
Well, not only did they give up, but what was crazy to me was he said, man, I'm going home because mom's is making the rice-a-roni with the non-federal cheese and the ground meat chili. And I said, whoa. First off, I don't know about you, but I did at some point grow up on government cheese. I don't understand why it gets such a bad rap. Once you slice it down, once you slice the cheese down and you get it melted, it's good. It's just getting through that initial slice. Once you get past the slice, it's money. It's great.
See, I've never eaten government cheese, but my father likes to tell me stories about it, and from his point of view, no, and never.
It just didn't seem. I don't know. I guess I'm just really easy when it comes to adapting and adjusting. So for me, it was like, you know what? Hey, is this what I got to work with? I'm gonna work with it.
I respect that.
So I've never had a rice-a-roni with ground beef and cheese mix.
That is delicious because I went to college and that is how I survived.
See,
really?
I need that.
Rice-a-roni is $1. You got it. It's on lock when you're broke in college.
I need that in my life.
You do.
I definitely need that in my life. For me, like I also DJ, so I was already kind of getting towards what the crayon was for, but I wasn't quite there because I'm not gonna front. I'm not a vinyl DJ. No, when I was really into it, I was doing CDs.
Copy.
And then now it's all Serato and it's all on your laptop, which is cool. So when I saw the crayon, I knew it had something to do. Like it wasn't like a metaphor. It legit had something to do with.
But I thought that was
vinyl.
so great that's how they introduced it. Like they've built up the mystery of Shaolin, and when they met Shaolin, they were like, oh hell hell no. Like, this is the dude we thought was everything. And now, but Grandmaster kind of holds that place. Like,
he still maintains that mystique.
Absolutely. He's, like, untouchable. So when he gives you a crayon, you're like, I gotta think real deep. Like, they didn't even try DJing for so long to try to use it in their craft. They were like, no, it means something. And when it broke, they all died. They were like, what's happening even?
Harold and the crayon, the magic crayon. And I almost wanted to look that up, and I didn't get to.
Harold, you don't know Harold the Magic?
I'm not up on Harold and the Magic Crayon.
You guys, he's a magic crayon. He's a purple crayon. It's magic. He makes things that come to life. Harold.
Well, I mean, I got it. I mean, I knew what it was about.
An actual crayon.
Okay. Right. I knew what it was about when he was like, oh, he was drawing on the wall and he broke it and all that. I knew what it was about. I was just like, man, I need to get up on this Harold and the Crayon. Because clearly, when you smoke weed, then you think, if I have a crayon, I can create portals. Because that's what happened.
I don't know. We learned Diggy was on some other kind of stuff. Because he said, he was like, I took my last hit of acid as he was making the punch. And they were like, no, we were talking about putting the Bacardi in. And I was like, Diggy's on some next world stuff.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I love Diggy. He's my favorite. I have a lot of favorites. I know I've been calling everyone my favorite all day. Okay, so let's skip down a little bit to Fat Annie and Detective Moran, who are working in cahoots. Fat Annie wants to know who tried to assassinate her last episode. She's pretty pissed about it. I think rightfully so. They're pretty sure it's the warlords. Moran thinks it might be El Viejo, so they strike a deal. Moran says, Annie, you bring me Viejo's brother. I'm going to try to get the police off your back. We're going to try to help you figure out who did this. You don't kill anyone else. I can keep helping you. Oh, Cadillac.
Oh, Cadillac.
You gotta admire Cadillac's energy, because he might be the king of disco. Like, I'll buy that.
Really?
What?
You don't buy it? I'm there.
Okay, time out. Hold on. I'm gonna need to see. Just because you got some fly dance moves on the dance floor, and the honeys is jocking you. Well, first off, the honeys are jocking you because you're Cadillac. You look like you do, and your mom runs the hottest club in the Bronx. I got it. But just because you can dance, and just because you write a song about a funky disco biscuit does not necessarily mean you're the king. So I'm going to need to see a little more proof before I can co-sign on him being the king of disco. But Cadillac's cool. I mean, I think he's a jerk, but he's cool.
He personifies disco in his, like,
he
callousness.
Has the swag.
Yeah. Well, not even just the swag, but in that whole, like, false attitude. Like, disco, they were talking about it in episode 3 when they're like, this doesn't feel like anything. Like, this isn't... It's just hollow. It's just like do a lot of drugs and dance and have a good time. And I feel like Cadillac, I mean, at least to me, that's what disco is. But Cadillac really embodies that idea. He, of course, ruins this pretty quickly when he's down in the club doing hella lines of coke, just going for the gold there. And he's like, we're going to trick these kids into thinking that we're going to kill them so they'll turn. And just as this kid is about to turn, they get into a scuffle, and he pops one at him, and the kid is dead. Messes up even further by letting Viejo's little brother go. Like, he just darts off and he's gone. So we know that things are not looking good for Fat Annie and crew.
I'm sure she was pissed.
But Fat Annie doesn't know yet.
I know.
So they've buried everything. So I'm sure.
I'm curious if we're going to get to see that.
Yeah.
Or if
what do you
that's
guys think Fat Annie's like? Because she doesn't seem to have a lot of respect for Cadillac. Which, I mean, who does really?
Yeah, but I don't even know if I would say that it's not even that she doesn't respect him. I just think that, that's her son. So it's like, you're my son, so no matter what you do and who you can intimidate, you're always just going to be my son.
And she is top dog.
Right, I mean, and I'm Fat Annie. So you, at any given time, I run this. And I'll remind you quickly. Don't get mad. She does put him in his place
real quick at the bar. She's like, you better obey mommy, I think Moran says. To which I was watching with my friend and we were like, oh no. Cadillac, like, if Moran wasn't a detective, I'm sure Cadillac had hopped over that bar so fast. So that's kind of where they are for right now. We can move now to Jackie and Francisco. And Jackie's coming. Francisco has made up this plan. He's gone to the church. He's like, look, I'm going to make Mylene help her sing. That's what she wants to do. It's going to be great. What did you guys think of that interaction in the church between Francisco? We've got Mr. Cruz, the pastor, and then Lydia. And Francisco and Mr. Cruz are really going at it. He wants her to sing. He's like, oh, you got to put her out first. He's like, you don't tell me what to do. He's like, I bought you this opera house, which I thought was really fascinating to see how he's kind of supporting his brother, but his brother also condemns all
everything
of his
he
actions.
does.
Yeah.
Yet it's the reason you have this house of worship. Yeah.
An old opera
and then
house, no less. Like, it's beautiful.
Oh,
we
it's
need
stunning.
some tea because it's about to get thick. Because there's so much. There's so much that I didn't even pick up on in that interaction, other than the fact that it's just like, like he resents his brother to a certain extent, and what he does, and then his brother's possible influence on Mylene. I got all of that tension, but then when we get forward later, woo! I'm ready for it. So let me know when we get to that.
We're gonna
get to that
speed
mark.
to there. We're gonna speed to there. But just in his initial setup, what do we think about Francisco's idea? Like, he's crafty. He called the lady, had her fake a vision from God about a beautiful dress that she's gonna make
He's
for Mylene.
resourceful.
yeah.
He's smart. Like,
I'm curious what their childhood was like. That's what I kept thinking. Like, what are your parents like? Where do you come from? How do you two end up just so opposites of the spectrum? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. These very well, and even we get some clues to that in the scene when Mr. Cruz says, I know what I've been through, and I'm not gonna go through that, and I'll go back to street preaching, which says a lot about where they came from. Obviously, they didn't grow up with a lot of money, and he started in the streets, which I think you can see kind of a lot. He seems to be like a little full of himself for a guy who's to be like a humble lord of the servant.
just a little.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just a little.
Super prideful.
Even
Just-
yeah.
yeah,
And then
a
to
whole
call
lot.
poor Mylene out on being prideful.
I know.
And just like the whole scene, I mean, we could just kind of go through it. So Mylene's mom is very nice, and she's like, I got this grocery list. Like, maybe you do need to go out
that
and
was
get this
such a
dress.
sweet moment
She
because her
is
mom.
for her daughter.
Yeah.
She's
it was.
totally for her daughter. She's a little brainwashed for the time being, you know?
Yeah, so she's you go out and get that dress. So we don't see the dress until the reveal. And woo, yeah,
Man.
So
In the house of the Lord.
Full of
right?
church.
Oh my
Man.
goodness, that is not what we talked about.
Nope.
But so she comes back and she's so excited to sing the solo. She's like got real brave and asked Zeke finally for like, come help me perform this song. And I was really proud of Zeke for being like, nah, I'm not doing none of this.
Shut
Like,
it down.
Yeah.
I was like,
Standing up for
good
himself.
job. Because she was low key giving him a lot of shade.
There's just a lot of runaround with the two
and
of them.
that
They
too,
can
she
never
was
be
just
on the
leading
same
him on,
page.
right? So I was a little over her for a little bit.
I feel the same. I just feel like figure out your feelings.
He's so for her. He is so down for her, like in more ways than one. And she just.
But he also clearly has standards, and it was nice to see him like stand by his
Yes.
standards.
What I like is that they both have high standards for each other, and they're both like, you're not meeting my standards yet. I both want to be like, you're both 16 and have a lot of growing to be like,
I'm gonna need you
it's
to
gonna
simmer
be
down.
okay. Exactly. But she has Zeke, and at first he says no, and he's very stands his ground. But eventually he does come around to the church and decides to help, which I loved and I thought was really sweet. And she was like, we're gonna turn the beat around on this. They do. It's amazing with the reveal of that dress, which is massively inappropriate. Giancarlo Esposito looks like he's going to have a heart attack when they reveal it. But the song is great, and it really gets a church in. Can we talk about how well that scene was shot? I love from the close-up of her just stamping her feet to her, if you've ever seen anyone catch the Holy Spirit in real life, it's very much like this moment of I have to seize my chance. He's leaving, he's running away. And I just thought it was really beautiful the way it built up all that anticipation, and then just her voice so clear and so crystal comes ringing through. How did that moment hit you guys?
Oh, definitely. Just a little hair on the back of my neck stood up. Just one, not all of them. Just one. It definitely. I mean, even that aerial shot where she's doing all of that.
Oh, that was a cool shot.
That was a dope shot, and I was like, oh, it's coming, the ghost is coming. So it was dope. I like the comedy aspect of the fact that he actually really tried to have that other girl start that solo.
Oh yeah,
that was
not
hilarious.
good.
First of all, this poor girl looks terrified. She's
So
going to
scared.
follow up. My lady's packing him in this church week after week. I got to follow that. No, I
And
felt really
she's just
bad.
in the back of the choir, just sitting there, kind of trying to go along with
the
it.
most
She's clapping, but she's like, I am
teenager
so
look
angry
of-
right now.
Exactly. Of just being punished. I thought that was, you're right, it was a great comedic moment. We'll take it back just a little bit to talking about, name escapes me. Jackie. Jackie, when he is talking to Francisco, Jackie is in debt. $25,000 in 70s money debt. And Francisco, so for his niece, as we know her right now, is just so ride or die for her. He's like, I'll just waive all that if you help her get her musical career started. So that's kind of the exchange they've made. So Jackie kind of has to like this girl. He doesn't really have a choice. I thought it was interesting that he was ready to give up and just leave before he even saw her perform for real. I was like, you don't want to like hang back and maybe see like talk about it. $25,000 is a lot of debt to be wiped away. What do you guys think about Jackie as we know him right now?
Jackie, I'll say this. I think he has a good heart. I think he's a good guy, but he just, that gambling, that's his vice, and that's his kryptonite at the same time. And I think that, again, we'll see more of Jackie, and we'll get to see how he does have a heart, and he is a good guy, but he just gets himself in some mess
Always,
all the time. And then he's here. He's got his hand in this pot and that pot and that pot, which we'll see later. And it's just like, man, you're just digging yourself in a deeper grave than you're already in.
And well, what I kind of like about Jackie is that he's a wordsmith of another kind. Like, he's real good at just being like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to give you the deal, and then you'll help me out a little bit. And then he'll take part of that deal to the next person and be like, so here's a little cut from that deal, but now I need your help to give me.
Exactly.
He's making it work. Like, he's drowning, but he's like, he's treading water. He's almost drowning. He's right there at the surface. I admire Jackie a lot. I don't think he's going to survive in this very corrupt, very, like, I mean, buildings burning down all the time kind of drama, which we will actually get to a building burning down.
Yeah.
Before we get there, let's talk a little bit more about this crayon and their whole discovery of it. Before, when they figured out the use of it, they're on the roof. There's this great scene where Shao is teaching, oh my goodness, guys,
Zeke.
Thank you, Zeke, about these pigeons, and he's having them fly off, and he's like, nigga got wings, nigga gotta fly. And I was like, okay, right on. I really like this stage of their relationship. We get, this is the closest we've seen them be since the rooftop at the end of last scene. They're finally kind of coming together. They're getting it. It's like, look, I'm not going anywhere. Like, we're not gonna get busted up about this crayon being broke. We're not gonna stop just because we're tired and just because we only have a few minutes left. Like, we're gonna figure it out and get down to the nitty gritty. And then we have the scene at the end where they come back. The warlords have been paid to burn down the building, and all of his records are gone. And Shao loses it in a way that I felt was completely out of left field. And so now we have these kind of like vast dynamics for Shao. What do you guys think of that? What are you kind of feeling about him and these kind of drastic mood swings?
I think it's interesting because sometimes he seems like he's going to run in the pack, and then sometimes he seems like a lone wolf. And I feel like when things like this happen, he might lead towards lone wolf again. I'm going to figure this out on my own. And I find it really interesting how he just kind of tears from like back and forth with that, you know?
I think I'm going to agree with you. That's a really, really good perspective. I think that it's a matter of he knows at the end of the day, it's like, look, I know what has to get done. And I know here's how I want to get it done. Now, if you guys want to rock with me so we can all get to this, we can all go down this road and get this done, cool. But if you don't, like you said, lone wolf, I'm off on my own because I'm going to get this done. And it's and I'm not going to take any shortcuts.
It's definitely
and I'm going to do it my way because that's the only way I know.
It's definitely a survivor's mentality of somebody who's had to be on his own. Clearly, he's routing his own electricity. He's been living on his own in abandoned buildings. Like, this kid is a survivor, and it definitely strikes us as something that's been happening for a long time. And my guess is he hasn't been able to count on a lot of people. And even though he talks a big game about us being the Fantastic Four plus one and being a group and being ride or die, that isn't something he has a lot of experience with. Where on Zeke, that's where Zeke's got a plethora of experience. People just supporting him and being behind his back and making sure he does better for himself. So I think it'll be interesting as we go on. Before we get out of episode 2, there's one major thing we have to talk about, which is the DJ scene, which blows my mind.
Okay, can I just
go? Just jump in.
I gotta throw it in. When he said, what did he say? When he said, if you see me on the street, cross. I was like, wow, like we're here now?
Right.
Like we was just homies, like D4L, like down for life. And now all of a sudden you said, if you see me on the street, cross, because I'm just trying to get you out of the hustle. Like I didn't want, like Zeke didn't want him to go back to working for Fat Annie.
Sure.
And I respect that. Like, I thought that was really cool. Like, you know,
we got to be our own people. We're supposed to be Fantastic Four plus one. I agree with you 100%.
And what was cool, like, there was a part of me when he proposed, like, look, we're going to go in there, we're going to work for Fat Annie, we're going to hustle, we're going to get a lot of coin, and then we're going to do what we got to do. And I'm like, yo, that's a good idea. Like, let's go, let's get it. Like, I forgot, like, oh, wait, I'm not in the show. And then, and then Zeke said, look, we can work with my uncle, we can make money this way, and we don't have to sell our asses to Fat Annie. Now, when he said, nah, not me, definitely not me, and then he got all mad and puffed up in the chest, you know, I ain't selling my ass to nobody. Okay, all right, we'll see. But I just thought it was cold-blooded the way he just turned. But again, lone wolf, like you said. So it's gonna be interesting to see where that goes with him trying to do his own thing.
Also, random Fat Annie moment. Earlier when she had the bill and she just ripped it in half and just handed it to him and she was like, you can come back when you want the other half. I was like, woo!
Fat Annie is a straight G. Like, you can feel however you want to feel about her because I think she's real skeevy, but at the same time, like, Fat Annie runs shit.
Power play.
Right, exactly.
Power play.
And then not only that, I know you want to move, but I gotta touch on this. I felt like there was something behind that when she ripped that $100 bill and said, "Come see me when you know, like when you need this, but it won't be as easy." And she ripped it. I was thinking, like, okay, so is it really a coincidence that his house got burnt down, or was that intentional?
She has been saying that she wants to own him for a while since the very beginning. She's like, you know, I like that and all this other stuff. And Fat Annie, again, as we've been saying, she definitely seems like somebody who's like, I will keep what I want. She keeps everybody in check, and he's kind of a free spirit.
And she want him in pocket,
and she totally tore him down when he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do my music thing. I got this good thing going for me." She's like, "What are you gonna do? You're not doing anything." And I was just like, "Okay." This is a very abusive relationship.
Right?
It probably works for her. It's probably what she does with all of her staff. I'm sure she's seen a lot of people be like, I'm going to go. And she's like, and they just keep coming back.
Like, this is the best you can do.
Right. How you going to do better than me?
Right. She said, you overestimate yourself.
Yeah, she did.
Man. I was like, man, if a woman told me that.
If anyone told you that, she'd be like, I know myself. But just so...
Like, that's a good ego shot right there.
Right? Exactly. So moving on to this DJ scene, it for me is one of the most cinematic moments Netflix has ever produced. I thought it was brilliant to not just explain what DJing is, not to just show you then how it's done, but then to use that technique in the editing of the two scenes together. Like, my mind was blown. I'm like, this is really happening. Like, I'm really seeing this from them learning to DJ to the kid being shot and that dance scene, mixing two completely different tracks for each scene and two completely different time periods. I was blown away, and I just had to ask you guys how it hit you.
I'm gonna let you take this one.
You wanna let me take this one?
I'm gonna let you take this one.
I mean, I just had goosebumps, and I don't know, because everything was overlapping like that, it was hard to kind of wrap my mind around it all, but like, I just had goosebumps. It was exactly what they were learning, and we were seeing it happen in real life, and it was really awesome to me.
To me, it was like these two separate worlds colliding, especially as we get into the eventual end results of that scene and knowing that the boys are going to actually be driving dirty with his body in their car for like the next couple of hours. That to me is the pivotal point when, okay, now we're locked in. Like Cadillac, the kids, it's all intertwined now. And these worlds aren't going to be separated. They're just going to continue to get messier. It's going to be a good groove. I really liked the scene. I thought it was a really good like send off to that episode. Let's see. So I want to get into Darkness is Your Candle, which is episode 3, and it revolves around the blackout of July 13th, 1977. We're in the Bronx. It's 104 degrees outside. It's very hot, hottest day on record up until that point. And we come in, and we got Jackie, who's looking to talk to Roy Ashton, who's a music producer. He's like, yo, got this girl. She's got body for days. She can sing. This is our next disco star. And he's like, yeah, you could record a track. And then he just lays down the law the minute he asks for money. And it's clear at this point that Jackie, as we were kind of saying earlier, owes everyone, like the whole gambit, down the list, everybody he owes money to or has screwed over in some fashion.
Not only that, but I feel like, the people in his circle they kind of already know. They already know his MO. So it's like, no. You start talking about ways to get money. Well, you know, we need money for an engineer and the producer. Nah, no, player.
We've seen how this plays out
You
before.
can cut the track in my place. I'm not giving you any extra money. So, like, when he shut him down like that, I was like, okay, see, he's up on game. He knows what this is.
Yeah. And poor Jackie was, you know, laughed at by some people who respected him the minute he walked in the door. And then by the end of it, no one in that room could, like, even look at him, really. So he goes out, and he's not really sure what he's going to do. And then we find out that Winston and his wife are going on vacation and leaving a girl who got kicked out, their 3 sons, their daughter, and the kid's best friend over. And I was like, do you guys not expect a party? Do you expect something not to happen? That's a lot of space. You're gone for a lot of time. Your kids are kind of rowdy.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It really was. And I respect their get down. Like, that party looked like fun.
Oh, it looked like so much fun. I also love how the oldest sister was like, I don't know if we should do this. And then she's like, give me $20.
Yeah,
and
she's
then
like, whether it
done.
makes money or not, you owe me $20.
Right.
I was like, respect.
Right. And then I don't know, like, when they got that tape, I was like, it's about to go down.
Yes, and it did.
It did. Like, that would be a party I would love to be at. And then I gotta, granted, they were low key stealing from the Flash, but the way he like dubbed over and put his little DJ tag, I was like, that's dope.
I like that they experiment with
job.
fake DJing already, which is clearly a problem in the industry, and I thought it was really funny the way they explored it of being like, but these kids just need to make money, which is, a lot of fake DJs' excuse. Like, this is how I earn cash. I just go around doing this stuff. I also thought it was really great the fact that the girls were like, but where are the lyrics? And I mean, I can't hustle to this. The hell is I like?
What kind of dancing is that? Exactly.
Yeah, the change that we're seeing from disco to hip hop, I really like the subtle changes, the way that's coming about. The way Shaolin calls it the whackness, the vocals, when we know that pretty soon that's going to be key, kind of makes me wonder how Zeke is going to start getting into DJing and whether he will, and if he'll be using Mylena to kind of do that. Because that's kind of the next evolution of it, is not cutting out the words but using them to enhance the beat. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. Of course, the house party gets busted up. It's bad.
Scary.
Yeah,
That's
a
kind of
little
scary,
bit, right?
Like a lot of people are dying in this show already. When the gun was up to Rara, I was like, uh-oh. Like,
Yeah, and I
I
like
really
Rara.
hope this doesn't happen right now or at all, because I love Rara.
Yeah, no, he's great. And it's actually guys who kind of want to get on the Grandmaster's level, or at least be his new proteges. And like, you're gonna learn that the Fantastic 4+1 is whack, and Sheldon's not gonna want to have anything to do with you. They destroy the salon, which luckily the kids now have a really good excuse for, because there were riots at the end, so they could just be like, "We weren't even here."
I didn't pick up on
I
that.
didn't put
that
that
was the first
together
thing I
either.
Because I just kept thinking, like, what are they gonna do? Like, it's
The parents
Now
It's
we
gonna
just
be all
claim that
bad.
under insurance. There will be nothing anyone can do. You can't deny it. We saw the cameras in the street.
Let's hope they got your memo.
Seriously. But so now there's a lot of concern. How do you guys think Grandmaster Flash is going to react to this? Like, you were using my music.
I don't think that he is going to, this is just me, I don't think he's going to react the way that the goons made it seem. Like, I don't think he's going to be all fire and, oh my goodness, what if you die and I banish you? No, I don't think, I think he's going to use it as a teaching lesson.
I mean, that's his style. I mean, with the
Exactly.
crayon from the beginning,
Right.
he doesn't seem to like have that in him.
That
He's
extra aggressiveness.
trying to
yeah.
teach, so
That'll be interesting. I do think that there's kind of a code, especially when things are this new and this fresh. Like, you don't take credit for something. You all could have easily said, like, we got this low-key, like, Grandmaster Flash tape. We found it. We're going to promote it, and promoted it from that angle. But you guys pretended to be the ones making
Actually,
that
that
sound.
is true.
Right.
So I feel like I do agree with you. He'll
There's
probably
going to be a
the
little punishment to it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, absolutely. He's the Grandmaster. You're gonna learn this lesson.
Okay, and then I just feel like, okay, I get it. And the violation, I mean, he broke the code. They broke the code, and it was a big offense. But I felt like, again, let's put it in perspective. These are kids. Like,
Yes.
these dudes are coming in, strong arming them, throwing them around, waving guns in their face. Dude, they're kids. Like, all you gotta do is talk to them, cuss at them a little bit. Maybe knock over a chair, just a chair, like
Just to scare him.
you know,
I feel you.
We really got to put guns in
Right.
faces and tear up a whole bunch of stuff. I thought that was a little bit much.
Now, see, I didn't think that was Grandmaster sending them out there, but I do think that he'll react to the information they bring back.
Definitely.
I don't know if he assigned those kids to knock them over like that, because that would kind of shock me. That's
scary.
extreme. Yeah, definitely.
Wouldn't trust him anymore.
Yeah, but I think that once given that information, he'll look at them sideways.
He'll be
like, I'm trying
hot.
to teach
Right.
you.
Oh, stink eye all day.
So then we've got, oh my goodness, hold on. What did I think down? Jackie, there's so many characters, comes back and he goes to cruise and he works another amazing soft shoe of just like, oh no, he's interested, but we can't let her go with him. It's a ruse, it's a setup. Oh, go somebody else. It's all a setup. Across the board, everyone will screw her. So we should do it. Yes, look at you, genius. So smart, Cruz, you
Real
are.
idea.
Yeah. How much is it gonna cost? 30 to 40K? A 10 grand difference? You can't give me some solid numbers? I was kind of disappointed at Francisco at this point for not getting a list of numbers. Like, you couldn't have asked for a rundown of, like, let me see some studio time, how many hours. He was like, just come back, there'll be a bag of money. I'm like, this dude who no
Can
one
he
trusts?
be my uncle? Hello.
Right?
Yeah, he'd be a great
Can-
uncle,
right?
Although I still kind of have a little trouble trusting him. He just has.
Really?
I do. I know he's out from Eileen, but I'm just.
Even after the dance with Lydia, we're gonna get there, folks. Oh my God, that seems
Okay,
solidified
no.
things
See,
in my
here's
heart.
the thing. Here's the thing. I feel like he's that uncle that you need. Like that's the uncle we all need. Like
Yes.
he's gonna ride for his family and he's gonna get things done no matter what it takes.
Let's
And
just jump into the Lydia scene now, because it took up such a large portion of this episode was the two of them having these back and forth. You said I was
Where's
so
my
excited.
tea?
I was like, this is where it's at. First of all, okay, so much. So Lydia goes to him to his office, and she's like, I want my daughter to come home, and you're stealing her. And he says, my niece has to correct himself mentally before he speaks, which really, really makes me think that Mylene is his daughter, and I kind of hope it's true. I really, really, really.
Oh, you didn't catch
Because
on?
he even
Yeah.
said, I haven't slept with anyone since 1960. It's 1977.
He
Myleen's
did
16,
say that,
17
didn't he?
I've
years
been
old.
alone since 1960, and then not only did he say something about that, but then he said something about keeping his word. And when he mentioned it, when he made that statement about keeping his word, I was like, okay.
This is it. This dude gets
I took keeping
stacks.
his word as keeping a secret.
This guy is giving stacks to his brother to keep his place open. He's like, just sneak it in. He'll never take it from me. So without his brother knowing, without any of the praise, even though he's the proud one, he's making sure his brother gets paid. He's making sure his niece and or daughter is gonna get the kind of career that she wants. He's putting her with people that he assumes, at least right now, he can control and keep track of. Like, he does everything. And what does he want? A dance with Lydia. I love Jimmy Smith, guys. He's like my favorite actor. He always plays these sweet, like, big teddy bear kind of characters. And when this moment happened, I was like, Boz Luhrmann doing it again. He executive produced this episode. He didn't direct it, but it was just such a touching romantic moment that I really liked it. But I'm curious what you guys thought about Lydia. She's clearly lost in where she should go. She's like, you're Diablo, she calls him last episode. But in this episode, she does share the dance, but she's also worried about her husband. And where do you guys kind of think Lydia's head is at this moment?
All right. Because I know we just got real silent. You want to go or you want to start?
You can start.
Okay, all right. So I think Lydia still holds, given we're assuming now, this is all just assuming, and we all know what happens when you assume, but let's just assume. I feel like, given that there was a past history, she still low-key holds a little bit of a torch. I felt like, you got to remember back in that day, and then probably the way she was raised, you normally make the safe bet when you're trying to partner up and you're finding a mate. And between the two brothers, who's the safe bet?
I mean, we do open that scene with him, like, I don't even want to necessarily rough enough a guy, but being kind of like, we got to keep this business clean. You know what's coming up.
Exactly.
Like, it's a little seedy, a little underhanded. And it doesn't strike me as Lydia wants anything to do with that. She wants
Right.
the pious priest guy. She likes working in the soup kitchen and helping people. She wants to be like a good Christian.
So I think she's torn, though, because I think her heart is with Francisco.
Of course it is.
But, you
Look
know,
at how
her
tall he
mind,
is.
sometimes your brain will get in the way of your heart. So then your brain is like, no, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is where I need to be. And this is who I need to be with. And I've already committed to him now. So I cannot betray that. So I feel like she's going to be torn. There's going to be some conflict there, especially because I feel like this interaction during this blackout brought up a whole bunch of stuff that's kind of just been chilling and simmering. And now it's about to boil over.
Sure
I also
is.
like that Francisco, she will listen to Francisco. Like, she's used to listening to her husband all the time and all the stuff he's putting in her head, but at the same time, he starts talking about how she's suffocating Mylene and all these things,
Well,
and
let's
you
talk
can
about that
see
interaction.
her.
Yeah, I mean, he calls her a slave at one point, and we see a lot
She
of
starts
that.
to. I think she's realizing it. Like, I think she's lost, but he says these things, and she has moments and like feelings of, oh my gosh, he might be right.
Yeah.
Like, I might agree that.
Like
yeah.
when he tells her like, you're killing her soul. She starts slapping him, but it takes like 2 half-hearted slaps before she's like, am I? Like, goddamn. And you kind of
Well, not only that, but think about it. Back when we jump all the way back to when they were in the restaurant, or where were they, in the kitchen, or
Yeah, the
wherever
soup
they-
kitchen, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
they're in the kitchen, and you know, she gives her the list. Right before she gives her the list, she's like, "Mom, what did you want to do? Like, what did you want to be?"
I just thought
And
if you
then
had a
finally
dream, you'd
she-
understand.
Right, and then, you know, and she told her finally, she was like, okay, you know, like, I wanted to be a vet. So she had dreams at one point too. So I feel like, you know, with what she's getting from Francisco, and then just the interaction she's having with Mylene and the conversations, she's starting to put the pieces together, like, okay, I get it. You know, because she, just like Mylene, had dreams. Now, she put those dreams aside, and why, we'll have to find out later, but, you know, I think it is starting to come together, and she's starting to put the pieces together. And she's starting to see that it's not all bad, like, you know, her husband wants to, you know, make everything if it's not in the church is bad. And it's not.
To the point where he's staying up late at night reading Bible verses till the daughter gets up. Like, it's creepy, and it's definitely overpowering, and I'm really glad they got Giancarlo Esposito to do that role, because he is so terrifying sometimes. Let's move into Mylene and Zeke in this episode. Let's just start with Mylene. Mylene is going after that record deal. I love this girl. She's a one-track mind. She's like, what I will be doing is singing, and I don't really care what it takes. So she goes to High Voltage, which we know is owned by Cadillac. Whether she knows it or not, I'm not really sure yet. They haven't had a second interaction, but I'm terrified of that. Cadillac is way too hungry for her, and please stay away. She is precious to me.
He is thirsty.
Yes, absolutely. So she goes and she meets up with Jackie, and it doesn't go so good first. He has her singing about Disco Biscuits, which we talked about earlier, a song Cadillac wrote. The song is a hot mess. It's not her. It doesn't give her any, like, vocal range. It's just something to do.
But I love that she doesn't. She's singing it, but if she doesn't feel it, it's not going to work, and she is able to articulate that. And I really
Yes.
love how she can do that, because I feel like a lot of people in this situation might just run with it and might just sing the best they can and call it a day. But she's
Right.
like, this song doesn't work for me. This isn't my sound. This isn't what I do.
She's on point. She knows exactly what she wants.
Right.
And so Jackie, of course, decides to spend like 15K, 10K from the money he got from Francisco on drugs, and is just going to town in the studio. Freaks out because it's not
Starts
going
tearing
right.
stuff.
Because that's going to help everything.
Right, just
Of course it is.
complete meltdown. And then
While yelling about civility. How ironic.
so ridiculous. So Mylene comes in, and like any teenager, is like, was it my fault? Did I sing the song bad? What can we do here? And they have this really touching moment where it sounds like they can maybe save each other. They are sitting at the piano. He's playing. He's like, the song. She's like, oh yeah, I know that. And she sings, and then she says, I believe that everyone should get a second chance. This is a great song. I'm really excited for their partnership. What do you guys think? This is bad for her? Are you guys concerned? Because, I mean, Jackie's not the most stable, and she's kind of alone in this.
I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work, and I think it's going to work because, like you said, they both need each other. And, I mean, her vocals are on par when she's feeling it. You could see it at the piano.
She's so good.
And he needs it to work. So I think that they're going to get through it together to overcome their obstacles.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely going to agree, because I feel like she's going to help restore some of that credibility that he needs, so people don't think he's a joke anymore. So I definitely think they're going to work really well together. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. But I was kind of like, I was a little nervous at first. And they're sitting at the piano. How many scenes have we seen in TV shows and movies with the piano?
I definitely think
and then they're
Empire
doing the side by
flashbacks.
side, bow, 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 bow. And the next thing you know, everything changes. So I was
Yeah.
kind of worried, like,
You definitely get the feel of, like like a young Mariah Carey. She married her first like manager producer because they worked together a lot, and you know, they did good for each other like career wise. And so, I mean, please don't mind me, but also I could see it. So,
but at the same time, I think, not to interrupt you, I'm
No,
sorry,
go
but
ahead.
I think too that he understands the importance of what this means to Francisco. And I feel like he, even though he may have feelings one which way or the other, I don't feel like he's going to betray that. So while I'm a little worried, I'm not that worried.
There was
because...
also the moment where she touched him, and if I think he was interested, we might have got a larger reaction from him. But instead, he kind of came in even a little more like when a kid gives you a hug and you're having a bad day, and they're like, "It's okay." You're like, "Oh yeah, kid, it is." It really feels like that. Of like, here's this young girl who could really possibly do something, and maybe my life won't be so terrible anymore. So I'm hoping the show keeps it on that track. That's definitely, I think, the way they presented it, but. Guys can be skeevy. It's the music industry. Dude's a drug addict, gambler. He's not in a good place. It could easily go another direction.
I thought it was really cool, too, how they used the blackout to break all that down.
You know what?
Like, it was a very cool use of the blackout, you know?
Especially if you consider that, if you were considered this like a play, this would be the end of Act 1. And I like that for the last, like, quarter of Act 1, they, like, dimmed the lights. And it's all the things you can't say in the daylight kind of been brought out
for
in
all
these
the
moments.
storylines.
Yes, exactly. And it's so beautiful until it's kind of not. We have the guys kind of get together. They've got the DJ's old car, and they're told to get rid of it. This was the mission. Cadillac, after finding out that Sheldon is sleeping with Fat Annie, was like, "Look, you breathe at me wrong, I'll kill you. I'll kill you for literally no reason. I've given you one job today. Go get rid of that car." So, of course, the kids are like, before we get rid of it, let's take it for a joyride. It'll be fun, like teens do. So they drive it around. They're kind of bonding. They're having these really great moments together. And before they dump it, they're like, "Oh, snap, we almost forgot the speakers." Which I was like, good job, guys. Way to get those speakers. Until they pop the trunk. In which case it stops being fun because there's a dead small child in the back of the car.
Real quick.
Okay, so everybody acted kind of as I thought they would. We know Sheldon's not that hard. Like, Sheldon kind of deals some drugs. He's made up a big rep for himself. But Zeke has seen death. He knows dead bodies, and he snapped too so hard. He's like, "Look, we can't have Cadillac coming after us. We can't have the police coming after us. You need to make sure you didn't leave anything stupid behind to identify yourselves, and then we're going to dump this car. And from now on, we are the Fantastic Four plus one. We will not be divided. Nothing's coming between us. We're brothers after this point."
Well, actually, remember, he said the Fantastic Four or plus one is dead. It's the Get Down Brothers now.
Oh, snap. All right. Okay.
Rising from the ashes, this is Get Down Brothers. But let's jump back real quick when they had that interaction right after that, right after the fire, and he said, "Yeah, we don't have to go and sell our asses to Fat Annie." "Oh, not me, definitely not me." Then you jump now, and he's dancing around in his briefs. You know what I'm
Even
saying?
has the
Gyrating
red
for Fat Annie.
underwear. Like, has to be fresh to the briefs.
I'm just like, wow, like, not gonna sell your ass, huh?
And it did, that part hit me as so, like, you don't freak out that much unless you have something to hide. And the way Fat Annie was kissing on him in the first episode, I was like, that's not new for anyone. He didn't react as though this was something out of the woodwork. She made it very clear that she was like, you know I like him young, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we know how you like it, Fat Annie." And
I don't think they had messed around at that point, though.
I don't think they had consummated the relationship, but I think the kissing, the touching, the very open option to like take it to this step was very open. And he's so in that room, he's comfortable in it, which is what I found strange. Like there is no shame within that room. Now outside of it, clearly he's got street cred and he's trying to build this new image, which makes me really sad for him because it means to me that they are not brothers yet in the way that Zeke is hoping that this relationship will lead them to be, because he still can't confide anything. He can't trust in anyone.
Right.
He's still completely down for himself. So
one thing about when they pushed the car into the water, Zeke made this really nice speech, and he was being the leader, and he was showing the leader that he can be. But I was sitting here like, "Run, guys. Like, get out of there." Like, they all stood there and had this moment where they're like talking. And I was like, get back somewhere and talk down the street about it. Like, go.
Well, I kept thinking, like, cool, you remember to, check for IDs and random articles, but I just kept thinking fingerprints. Like, your fingerprints are on the trunk and they're on the exterior of the car.
give me just
and
a
the
quick
fashion
wipe down,
of which
y'all.
something.
But if they're not printed yet and it's in water for a while, they have a good chance of getting out. I was proud of Zeke for stepping up and being like, "This is what we need to do. We need to get out."
But then go.
Yes. And then we've got the guys then say that the first chance they get, Cadillac's going down. Like, that's for sure going to happen. And that night, they decide to rob Blaze Inferno. They're like, we're just going to take the decks that we need. We're going to take the records that we need. We're going to take this no request sign, which I thought was a great moment to have comedy in the middle of this crazy, crazy chaos. So they start to get revenge. And then, let's see. Are we getting pretty close to the end here? I talked about that. Rara's. Oh, can we talk about how Rara is the only like logical person ever? Rara is the one who's like, Zeke, give Mylene a chance. Like, this is love, and you don't find it every day. Like, you gotta go for that. Rara is the one who's in the club. Like, we got to go. You need to grab your stuff, move out of here. I know Rara thought he was the plus one. I think Rara is the one. Like, he's gonna be the one running their numbers. He's the one talking about like we can't get screwed over when we go to like get these turntables. I really like Rara. Anyway. Yeah, so that kind of wraps up that. Oh, nope. We have one more thing to talk about. Zeke gets lucky.
Oh yeah, right.
It's lucky.
Right, how do we not cover that? That's a big deal.
Mylene
It
comes
changes
home
the entire dynamic of the relationship now.
for a whole lot of things. So Mylene comes back after her thing. She's like telling Zeke all about her day and the excitement and what she's hoping for in the future. But she's like, look, I'm always talking to you and telling my secrets, and you don't tell me anything. You gotta talk to me. Like, I see that you're sad. And Zeke does his brave man cry of like, no, oh God, I have emotions. And he spills over, and then she's like, come on. And she takes him to the roof, and I was like, oh, kissing, cute. Oh no.
Oh no, they're not kissing.
Oh yes, and I was really excited because I really like them together. I did clearly, if we got W Diggs earlier doing his Nas raps in the opening, like clearly they have this relationship. He calls her the love of his life. How did this moment strike you? The city is literally burning.
Right. Well, firstly, I love Justice Smith. Like, as Zeke,
so good.
He's so honest, and you can feel, like you said, he was being a tough guy, and the way he broke down, he never pushes too hard. It just, like, effortlessly flies out of him, and I'm always in awe of his performance.
Absolutely.
But I thought it was pretty hot.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Rooftop, fire,
Right?
dark everywhere.
I just feel like in real life, if you were to try and stage something like that, like, yeah, we're gonna have a special night tonight. I just feel like it would just go down in ruins. Like
it was like Batlick by a city fire.
You would catch something on fire with the candles. Like, you got birds biting on your butt. And like, I just feel like it would just go so wrong. But for that, it was beautiful.
It was great.
And I was just like, yes, finally. And not even just because they got lucky, but just because I'm like, finally, like, now you can't deny it now.
Yes.
Like, you can't write it off. You can't talk about
we don't do this no more. No,
right,
none of that.
Like,
it's together now.
Zeke and Mylene all day.
Yes, for sure. I want to talk very quickly just about Sheldon's reaction to it, though. Sheldon has been dogging Mylene since the beginning. He was like, you don't want her. She's going to play you. Again, coming from this place where he can't trust anybody. And then he kind of watches him go. And it looks a little bit like he's hurt, just that he can't have that. Just like he doesn't know what that is.
Right.
And who hasn't been there? You know, your friend falls in love before you, and you're like, damn, I don't get it. Why do you get to have this? And I really think we'll move just straight into predictions. I really think that's going to be the crux of the next episode, is them, one, having to make it up to Grandmaster Flash, and two, Shaolin kind of coming to Zeke about this whole relationship. Like, they have to work that out, because there's no way Zeke's gonna let him continue to talk trash about Mylene, especially not now.
Yeah, no. You got the cookie? No. Not even not even a little bit. You're not gonna talk about my bae.
Right, exactly. So what do you guys have predictions for your next episode? Next 2 episodes, 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, 4 or 5. I'm predicting we're going to see more of Yolanda and Regina, Mylene's friends, and I just have a feeling they've steered her in the right way, the right direction, like with the song, because they care about her so much, but they're a little wild, and they've done a few things, and I'm afraid they're going to get in some type of trouble here.
Very nice.
I think that's coming.
Nice. You said wild. I would say ratchet.
Yolanda for sure. It's just, she's just singing songs about her vagina in the middle of the street. You're just like, Yolanda, go home. You're going to talk to Jesus. Oh my goodness.
For me, I definitely think that we're going to find out a little bit more about Lydia and Francisco. And that's definitely I'm ready for it. Like, I want to see a little bit more about that, but I also want to see what's going to develop with Shaolin getting the Fat Annie welcome to the family type deal. Like, that whole thing, about, to get in the family, whatever. I want to see what's going to happen with that, once she brings him 100% in the fold. So for me, I'm definitely anxious to see where that's going to go. And then I do want to see, like, is Mylene going to get back in the studio? Are they gonna really cut a track?
Can he write a good song for her?
Just as long
Will
as
it be
having to
disco
do
or
with
something else? 'Cause that's what I'm saying. Disco's dying. We know the history.
I don't need any
Right.
more biscuits.
but he said disco's not his thing, so I'm hoping that it's good.
I'm also excited to see Miss Green come back because she made that quick little appearance.
She sure did too.
Right,
She's
did.
gonna come back, and I'm curious to see how that all develops too.
cute.
Oh, and we need to see what's going to happen with his aunt and him, because now his aunt's kind of been enlightened, because she's like, oh, his head's always in the clouds. Wrong. Zeke's got some brains.
Well, I think that's why she sends him out with Leon. I was like, Leon is my favorite like dad character. He reminds me of like every older man in my family. He's so funny, just coming around corners with his banter of just like nothing's easy. You're just Leon. It's 2 a.m. People are looking for jobs. He's a good kid. Like take it back, but
I
he's so
felt
great.
so bad when they had that whole interaction with Cadillac, and then he fired them, and then didn't want to pay them. I felt so bad.
It was a mess.
That was dirty.
It was a mess.
But that's this is all why Cadillac's needs to watch his back.
And we're gonna see what happens next week. I'm really excited. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you until then?
Until then, you can find me on Twitter, KAAOSJ. You can also find me on Instagram, chaos_oceans31. Oceans, why? Because your boy's so wavy.
I love that.
Yeah, and you can find me on all social media at Sheldon White 2.
I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me every week at Black Girl Nerds. Check the site this week for my review of Southside with You and my interview with John Legend. You can always find me right here. We're coming up on the night of for HBO, 7 o'clock. Check us out. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.